Hello students, in today's session let us learn about mainly the features of GST. This is the fourth module of our course. In today's session we will look into three important aspects of GST. Now let me tell you the topics I will cover in this video. Three topics, namely definition of GST, key features of GST and the meaning of comprehensive tax structure. Now let us look at each of these topics in detail. In the constitutional framework of taxation, the authority to levy taxes on goods was vested in the central government, confined primarily to the domain of manufacturing and production. Meanwhile, states possess the jurisdiction to impose taxes on the sale and purchase of goods. Similarly, the central government possessed the authority to levy taxes on services, while states too have the power to levy taxes for certain services as defined in clause 29A of the article 366 of the Indian Constitution. This division of taxing authorities between central and state governments always resulted in disputes. Let us look at the definition of GST. There is no exact definition for GST, but we can say that GST is an indirect tax imposed on the supply of goods and services. It is a multi-stage destination oriented tax imposed on every value addition, replacing multiple indirect taxes including VAT, excise duty, service taxes, etc. Now the second topic we are going to discuss is the salient features of GST. The first unique feature of GST is that it replaces multiple indirect taxes with a single comprehensive tax. Secondly, GST is levied at the point of consumption rather than the point of origin, ensuring a uniform tax system across states. Under the earlier indirect tax structure, taxes were levied at the point of origin, which has many drawbacks like tax on tax, less chances for getting refund, etc. The third unique feature of GST is the dual GST model followed in our country. Under this model, that is dual or concurrent GST model, tax is levied by the centre and state on both the goods and services. This model is based on the concept of sharing revenue by the centre and state governments or union territories. This system creates a good balance between fiscal autonomy for the centre and the state governments. The fourth unique feature of GST is that GST helps in eliminating tax cascading, that is GST allows for seamless input tax credit or ITC across the supply chain. The complexity with the indirect taxes levied in our country before introducing GST was the cascading effect, where taxes levied at one point were also taxed at subsequent points. The fifth unique feature of GST is the tax on value addition. GST is levied on the value added at each stage. The sixth unique feature of GST is the composition scheme for small businesses. The composition levy is an alternative taxation method tailored for small businesses with turnover below the specified limit. Small taxpayers can opt for a simplified tax regime with lower tax rates. GST has regular limits for registering the business units. That is, for businesses engaged in the sale of goods with a turnover exceeding the threshold limit of Rs 40 lakhs in regular category states and Rs 20 lakhs in special category states. Similarly, for services, the limits are Rs 20 lakhs and Rs 10 lakhs respectively. It aims to simplify tax processes, reduce compliance burdens and lower compliance costs for small taxpayers. Participation in this scheme is voluntary and offers a turnover based tax system with yearly tax return filing and quarterly tax payments. The seventh unique feature of GST is the comprehensive coverage, that is GST applies to most goods and services with a few exceptions. The items excluded from GST are alcohol for human consumption, petroleum products and electricity. The eighth unique feature of GST is technology driven compliance. GST is administered through an online portal GSTN for registration, returns and tax payments. Improving transparency and efficiency. The ninth unique feature is the 4-tier tax structure. GST has multiple tax slabs, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28% to accommodate different categories of goods and services. The 10th unique feature of GST is the reverse charge mechanism or RCM. In certain cases, the recipient of goods or services is responsible for paying GST instead of the supplier. The reverse charge mechanism or RCM in GST is a provision where the liability to pay tax shifts from the supplier to the recipient of goods or services. Normally, the supplier of goods or services is responsible for collecting and remitting GST to the government. However, under RCM, the recipient must pay GST directly to the government instead to the supplier. RCM applies in two key situations. First, for specified goods and services which the government has notified. Example is certain legal services. Second is the supply from an unregistered supplier to a registered person. The 11th unique feature is e-way bill system. A digital tracking system for the movement of goods ensures compliance and reduces tax evasion. The e-way bill is a digital document created on the e-way bill portal serving as evidence of the goods transported. The e-way bill consists of two main components. Part A includes information such as recipient's goods and services tax identification number, the delivery location, invoice or challan number and date, the value of goods, HSN code, transport document number which includes goods receipt number, railway receipt number, airway bill number or bill of lading number and the reasons for transportation. HSN or Harmonized System of Nomenclature code is a globally recognized 6-digit code used to classify goods systematically for taxation purposes. Under GST or goods and services tax in India, HSN codes are used to categorize products and determine the applicable tax rate. Part B on the other hand contains details about the transporter including the vehicle number. The 11th unique feature is the GST compliance rating. Businesses are assigned compliance ratings based on the timely filing of returns and tax payments, which encourages transparency. GST compliance rating is a score assigned to registered taxpayers based on their track record of tax compliance system in India. It is a dynamic rating system that helps businesses and authorities assess a taxpayer's credibility in meeting GST obligations. The 12th unique feature is that under the GST regime, special provisions apply to e-commerce operators regarding tax collection at source or TCS. These provisions ensure tax compliance and prevent tax evasion in online transactions. TCS is a mechanism where e-commerce operators like Amazon, Flipkart, Zomato, Swiggy, etc. collect a percentage of tax on the net value of sales made by sellers through their platform and deposit it with the government. This ensures that the tax liability of sellers on e-commerce platforms is properly accounted for. The 13th unique feature of GST is the anti-profiting measures. This feature ensures that the benefits of tax reduction and input tax credits are passed on to consumers. Anti-profiteering measures under GST are regulations that prevent businesses from making undue profits by ensuring that any benefit from the tax rate reductions or input tax credits is passed on to consumers in the form of lower prices. The 14th and the last unique feature of GST is the uniform tax rates across the country. GST promotes ease of doing business by maintaining consistent tax rates across all states. This means that a particular product or service attracts the same GST rate regardless of where it is sold in the country. The third and the last topic we will discuss in this module is about the comprehensive tax structure of GST. This refers to a taxation system that covers a wide range of goods and services and economic activities under a single framework. It eliminates multiple indirect taxes and integrates them into a unified system, ensuring consistency and reducing tax complexities. 4 features we can list about the comprehensive tax structure of GST. First feature is that the broad coverage of goods and services coming under the purview of GST. Moreover, GST applies to most goods and services with certain exceptions like alcohol for human consumption, electricity and petroleum products. Secondly, GST is levied at multiple stages, that is every stage of the supply chain, but only on the value addition at each stage. Third feature is the elimination of cascading effect. The input tax credit ensures that tax is not levied on tax, reducing the overall tax burden. Fourth feature is the standardized taxation. GST replaces various indirect taxes and thereby creating a uniform tax structure in our country. I hope you got a good insight on the topic, definition of GST, unique features of GST and the comprehensive tax structure of GST. Thank you for your patient listening. Happy learning. Until we meet with the next module, bye from me. Thank you.